So in this video, there are some things that I kind of wanted to go deeper on. Some things that happen in these, episode 3 and episode 4 that I feel like are really, really important to this series. So first off, there was a conversation between Zemo, Bucky, and Sam. And like I said, Zemo has this like all winter soldiers need to be scrapped. That serum needs to go back to the pits where it came from. And he just has a really bad outlook on the super soldiers in general. And so Bucky was like, well, what about Steve? Steve was a super soldier. They gave him the serum. He didn't turn out bad. And Zemo was like, well, there you go. There was, and will only have been one Steve. And it's like, not like, oh, yeah, it was just one Steve. Like, to us, he'll always be the only Steve we know. No, it was more like he was one of the only people who had the super soldier serum that actually didn't jump off the deep end, wasn't like, a mass murderer. He was the perfect man to have the serum. Just the other day, I was talking to my brother about how, if you remember all the way back in the first Captain America movie, before they gave him that serum, he was going to the army, Steve, and, people mocked him, they laughed at him because he was small, he was short. But whenever he got in there, they threw that grenade, and he got on that grenade and could have blown him to bits. And he didn't care about his own personal safety or life. He just wanted to save other people. And that's what showed everybody around that he was the right guy to receive the serum. They wanted somebody who was going to be a good person, who would put others before themselves, others' health and safety before themselves. A good man. Somebody who had some kind of good background, stood up for the right thing, had morals. And that was him exactly, to like a T. So Steve was a good guy. And I even dare say that because of the things that he went through, like I said, the mocking, the belittling, especially right when he was trying to go for the army, I'd say his emotional and mental resolve were pretty strong. Of course, anybody can crack if they're under the right type of pressure or the right kind of pressure that would make them crack. But Steve, I feel like mentally, he was there. He was strong. Like I said, he had a good resolve. Overall, he was the right guy. He had what it took to be a Winter Soldier and not do something crazy or use his power to, do something bad. And that's why Zemo said, but there was only one Steve. And he wasn't joking around either. He even asked Sam, hey, if you could take the serum, would you? And Sam was like, heck no. And I can't say I blame him. Especially after seeing what happened to, I think his name was Elijah or Isaiah, the guy, the Black Winter Soldier from Bucky and Steve's original time. I've seen what happened to him. Of course, I wouldn't want to take that serum. And then just because of all the other stuff, that comes with it. It's just, honestly, to Sam, it just seems like it's just not worth it, which I can't say I blame him for, because I really don't. I don't think I would take it either. So, another thing that I didn't really get to like go into too much depth in the last video is that, so the Dora Milaje showed up. Of course, they were coming for Zemo, and I could not blame them. And they went straight to all of them, and that was at a time when Captain Wannabe, Captain America, and Hopkins had finally caught up with them and was in that house with them. And the guy, I think his name is John Walker. I just knew he was gonna say or do something that was gonna get him and his partner beat up. I just knew he was. Like, he was, talking about the Dora Milaje don't have any jurisdiction here. And I was like, oh, he's about to get beat up. I can tell now. I feel sorry for him right now because they're about to whoop his behind. Because I just knew he was going to do or say something that was going to make them angry. And so she was like, the Dora Milaje can come with the Dora Milaje wants to come. And I'm just like, clearly he hasn't seen Black Panther or any of the other movies that they were in. But hey, be that as it may. And so he was, I forgot what he was talking about right up until he tried to put his hand on her shoulder, and I was like, oh, it's about to go down. And then, like as I said, him and his partner got their butts whipped, and Bucky and Sam were just standing there like, should we help them? No, I guess we'll help them. And then in the meantime, somebody should have been watching Zemo, but because they were all fighting, nobody was watching him, and he managed to slip. The way he slipped away was like chef's kiss pristine. He watched them sip from his little teacup for a little bit and literally tiptoed to the bathroom, closed the door like he was about to have a nice little bath, a little rub-a-dub scrub, and he got up out of there. So Captain, I feel sorry for myself because I just got beat by a woman, was sulking because he was like, but they weren't even super soldiers. And I'm kind of like, well, I mean, to be fair, neither are you. Like, you're just a human, so is Hoskins. So they were trained for combat. Like, if he knew so much about them, he should have knew that. Like, they're not some women running around with lances. No, they know how to fight. Like, they mean business. But he was still, upset that he lost. And I feel like he was cracking from the moment that he couldn't get that girl. Like, it was taking so long for him to go after her, and I'm like, see, this is the reason why I don't think he was ever cut out to be anybody in charge, to be given the shield, any of that, because the Avengers, they all, there were plenty of times when they, lost people, lost XYZ, and yeah, some of them kind of cracked, but they picked it up and they kept going. Him, on the other hand, it's like he couldn't handle losing, for one, and two, not being able to just get the job done so quickly. And I felt like from the moment that he was having trouble keeping track of that young woman and that they kept beating him to it, he started to crack a little bit more and more. Getting beat by Dora Milaje, he cracked a little bit more. So he starts talking to Hoskins, and like I said before in the other video, another crucial piece of information. He said, would you take the serum if you could? And he was like, heck yeah. And then he asked him, well, do you think it would change us in any way? Or he had something to that nature. And Hoskins said, well, I think it just makes you more of who you already are. Which I don't think he realized how true and how heavy that statement really was. Like I said again, using the old Steve example. Him getting the super soldier serum, being able to change things, fight people, having it being empowered, it just embellished the good guy that he was. He literally was the perfect leader, the perfect person to have the serum. Now this guy, on the other hand, not so much. But like I said, it just embellished who a person really is. Kind of like money. Like when people get a lot of money, they think that you change. No, you just become more of what you already are. So again, they were fighting this young lady for a second time. And by then, if I'm not mistaken, he'd already taken the serum that he found. That extra vial that he found after he knocked out Zemo. He had taken that serum already. And I kind of felt like they were foreshadowing that Hoskins was going to die. And I was really afraid of that. And then it happened. I don't even know why. Like, I feel like if they were going to send them out there to fight super soldiers, then they should have given them super soldier serum, because I feel like it was stupid for them to send them out there knowing that they're human, that they're more vulnerable. And I just feel like it was a heavy foreshadowing that Hoskins was gonna die. And whenever that person hit him and he hit that pillar, I was like, dang, they killed Hoskins. And then that's when he finally snapped. I feel like that right there, that was the one twig, the straw that broke the camel's back in his mind. Like I said, I've been hard on him, but he cared about Hoskins. That was his partner. But when the Hoskins died, when Hoskins was killed right in his face like that, that made him break. That made his mind break. And I think it made him, because he already felt helpless to stop from, getting beat, to stop from losing. He just felt helpless. And then when Hoskins died, I feel like that made him feel even more like, well, if I could have did more, if I would have had more, I would have been able to stop this. And like I said, it made him break inside. And I felt really bad for him. Like, I felt bad for Hopkins, and I felt bad for him because that was his partner. He cared about him. They went in, that was their job, that they worked together. It's hard to swallow that pill, somebody who you've been working with for X amount of time gets murdered right in front of you. But like I said, that's what made him finally break. So him finally breaking, him having the super soldier serum, it was like a recipe for a murderer. Like, this man has snapped. You can see it in his eyes. He killed a man in front of the whole, well, it looked like a town square to me, and a bunch of people recording. He didn't care. He didn't think like, oh, I should wipe the blood off the shield, for crying out loud. Or maybe I shouldn't kill him in front of, like, at least in front of a group of people. Maybe I should take him to the alley. And you can tell, like, just by like the way his head is tilted, the look in his eyes, he's no longer there. He's no longer there. He's gone. John Walker is gone. Captain Cuckoo has entered the fray, has entered the scene. He is no longer there inside. He's gone. And honestly, I feel like this is paving the way for him to be like a serious, like, supervillain, like how Captain America was a superhero. And again, the super serum only brought to the surface what he was deep down inside. Like, he might have been like a good guy, I guess, on the surface, but deep down inside, he had some deep-rooted issues. And that's why whenever he did snap, whenever he got the super serum, that's why I honestly think this stuff's happening. Not to say that, like, if somebody snaps because of going through what he went through, that they won't do something like that. But this guy is on a path of destruction if somebody doesn't get to him fast enough. And I feel like that girl even saw what happened. Like, I don't know if she saw him, like, off the jumping from the window. She probably did. But she probably realizes now that somehow he has gotten the super serum. And before, she had nothing to worry about because he was just human for the most part. But now, he is on the same level as she is. And he is out for bloody vengeance. So she better grow a pair of eyes in the back of her head, or learn how to sleep with the ones that she has open, because he's coming after her. And he's going to kill her, more than likely, if she can't stop him first. And this is probably going to set him on a very dark path if somebody doesn't get to him first. And I honestly, like I said, this I feel like the MCU is setting them up for, like I said, like a dark version of Captain America, basically. There have been other people who've theorized stuff like this, but I feel like this is opening the door right here.